Hey everyone, alright, I'm going to show you how to come up with the notes that are in the scales for each key in music. Got some nosy neighbors here, so I'm going to be talking in the backyard quietly, but this is how we do it. Alright, these are the notes in the music scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C, and that is in the key of C. In between your, I think these are called natural notes, I'm not sure, I don't really care, but in between each of these notes you have sharps or flats, and let me put down the sharps and the flats right now. You've got C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, there's no sharp or flat between E and F, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and then there's no sharp or flat between B and C. Okay, so you could call C sharp D flat. Okay, that marker's not too good, so we're not going to use that. You could call C sharp D flat. If it goes up, it's a sharp. If it's down, it's a flat. So that would be D flat. D sharp would be E flat. G sharp would be A flat. I'm missing something here. C, D sharp, E, F. Oh, okay, I'll get that in a minute. A sharp would be B flat. And I left out the F sharp, which goes over here. F sharp. F sharp would also be called F sharp, G flat. Okay, so I normally don't consider the flats because I'm beginning and it's still a lot of stuff for me to remember. The only thing I look at mainly is the B flat, which I consider an A sharp. Makes it easier for me to play in a bar chord. So how do you figure out the notes that are inside these, inside the scales? Well, it's all done by the process of whole, and half. That's done for your majors. And that's all I'm going to be talking about right now, the whole, and half. And when I started guitar, I had no idea what anyone was talking about. And let me explain what it comes out to be. Counting is whole, half, whole, half. And what that comes out to be is, it's really confusing when somebody says how to do it with whole, half. It's a lot easier if you learn it with half, because then it starts to make more sense. So if you look at C, this is not going to make any sense for a minute, but just hang in there with me. If you look at C, between C and C sharp is a half. Between C sharp and D is a half. Between all of these is a half. When you do it this way, it starts to make a lot of sense. So stick with me. Okay, so you've got halves between each of these notes, but when you look at the upper thing over there where it says C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, those are all the notes in the scale of, or in the key of C. And C doesn't have any sharps or flats. If you start off with C, and you look at this chart over here, whole, half, the next note from C is a D, which is half and half. So that's whole. Then you go from D, what's the next one? From D, going up a whole is D sharp would be a half, E would be a half, so that's whole. From E to F, what's from E to F? That's a half. And then from F to G, that's a whole. From G to A is a whole. B to C is your half. You'll notice that there are, as I said, no sharps or flats between E and F and B and C. And that's why when people explain it, they say that it's a half note, it's a half step, which is really confusing because you don't know what the heck the difference is between a half and a whole until you start looking at the chart I just put up, which lists halves between everything. And you look at that, 2 halves, if you remember your math, 2 halves equals a whole. So from C to C sharp is a half. C sharp to D is a half, that equals a whole. So hopefully that makes sense. So when you do your whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half pattern, it starts to make a little bit more sense how you figure out the notes in each key. Let's go chart this thing out a little bit, and maybe we can figure out what all the notes are for all the keys before I run out of video space here. Alright, let me go see if that's showing up on the video. Is that showing up on the video? Yeah, I kind of think it is. Let's lower this down just a fraction. I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But, again, sorry about talking quietly, but I've got nosy neighbors, and I'm doing this in a backyard outside. So, let's look at we already did the C, the key of C. Let me put some columns down here so I can chart this out a little bit easier for you. Okay, so we've got the columns now for the whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, which we're going to do in a second. We already did C, so let me mark that down with the notes for the key of C that we just did above. All right, now let's look at the key of D. If we have to do a whole from D, half would be D sharp. A whole would be E. So the first note after D in the key of D is E. Okay, so you look at E, and you have to do another whole. So from E to F is half a step. The next half a step would be F sharp, so the next note is F sharp. So we've done whole, whole, and now we have to do a half. From F sharp, half a step up would be, from F sharp, half a step up would be G. And then from G we have to do a whole step that would be G sharp and A. Okay, then you have your next whole step up would be from A sharp to B. And then your, let's see, whole, half. Let me mark this down so it makes it a little easier for everybody to understand what I'm doing. Did I do that right? Whole, half, whole, and then we have the half over there, which would be from B, half from B, since there's no B sharp or B flat, would be C. So let's go back over to B. We have to do one more whole. From B, half a step up would be C, and then the next one would be C sharp. Okay, so let's look at the key of E. Key of E, you have to do your first one as a whole step. E, half a step up would be F, and then the other half would be F sharp. So your first note here is F sharp. And then you want to do a whole, another whole, so F sharp up would be G sharp. And then half G sharp, half a step up would be G A. Okay. Whole step up from A sharp, B. Whole step up from B, you have B, and then half a step up would be C. So you want a whole step, you want C sharp. C sharp, half a step, a whole step up would be C sharp, D, D sharp. And then your next note, if you want half a step up from D, D sharp, half a step up would be A. So you know that you're doing this right so far. Let's start off with F. From F, whole step up, F sharp, G. That's G. From G, one whole step up would be G sharp, A. Half a step up from there, because you got whole, half, A sharp would be your next one. Then you have to do a whole step, again, whole, half. So from A sharp, whole step up would be A sharp. B is half a step, and then your next half a step would be C. So your next note is C. Your next whole from C, C sharp, D. Whole step up from D is D sharp, E. And then half a step up would bring you back to F. Okay, for the key of G. Whole step up, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Half a step up from B is C, because there is no B sharp, so it would be C. Whole C. Okay, from C you want to go whole, half, so C, whole step up is D. From D, whole step up is E. Whole step up from E is F, and then F sharp. And then your half step would be F sharp, half step up would bring you to G, so we've done that right. Okay, we've got 3 more keys to go, and got enough, 15 minutes left of recording time. Okay, so A, when you're starting at A, your whole step up would be A sharp, B. Whole step up again from B, don't have a B sharp, so it's B, C, C sharp. Whole, now we have to do a half from C sharp, half a step up would be D. And then we're going to do the whole, half from D, whole step up would be E. E, whole step up would be F, and then F sharp. Whole step up would be F sharp, G, G sharp. Okay, I screwed up here. I think I totally screwed up, because that's not matching. F sharp, G sharp. Yes, that is. Okay, see? It does work. Okay, a whole step up from F sharp would be G, and then G sharp. Sorry, my writing's like crap, but I'm doing this on a wall on a house. And then from G sharp, half a step up would be A. Okay, now we're going to do the key of B. Key of B, you have to do a whole, half, whole, half. So from B, your whole step up would be C, and then C sharp. Whole step up from C sharp would be D, D sharp. Whole step up from D sharp, oh wait, whole, okay, half step up from D sharp would be E. Whole, half, so you get E. Okay, put a line over here so this makes a little more sense. All right, where did I leave off? I kind of screwed that up, didn't I? Yeah, I totally screwed that up. Okay. Let's do this. Oops. Mark it on the house. Okay. B, whole step up. B is C sharp. Next one is, sorry about this big mess that I've created here. Okay, so B, whole step up would be C sharp, whole step up would be D sharp, half a step up would be E for the next note, which we've got in there, E. And then we got to do whole, half again. So Whole step up from E, there is no E sharp, so whole step up would be F, and then half a step would be F, and the next one would be F sharp. So F sharp. Whole step up from F sharp would be G, G sharp. Whole step up from G sharp would be A sharp. Half a step up from A sharp would be B, which takes you back to the key that we started in. So, and the last one, we already did C on the bottom, so hopefully this makes sense to you how you do the whole half. Now, we're almost done. How much time do I have on this thing? Okay, got 13 minutes. What you want to do in the first column is, that's your key, so we'll label that as K. Your second column, your third column, and your sixth column are minors. Don't ask why, that's just how it is for now. Minors. 6. Okay. Seventh column, you don't play the seventh column, because if you played anything in the seventh column when you're in that key, it would sound really funny. It wouldn't sound proper in the scale. So let's wipe out the seventh column. Okay, so what you have now is D minor, F sharp minor, G minor, A minor, B minor, C sharp minor, E minor, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A minor, B minor, C sharp minor, D sharp minor, and then A minor, B minor, C sharp minor, D minor, E minor, F sharp minor, and G minor. Okay, so if you look at this chart now, what you see is, when you're playing guitar, mostly the notes that you're going to play in each key are going to be three majors and 3 minors. So in the key of C, you see that your major chords would be C, F, G, and your minors would be D minor, A minor, E minor, and it goes all the way down the chart. If you look at the key of D, your major chords are going to be the ones in columns 1, 4, and 5, D, G, A. Your minors are going to be in columns 2, 3, and 6, so that would be E minor, F sharp minor, and B minor. Again, like I said, you ignore the notes that are in the column 7, and that's mostly the notes that you're going to play in each key. Not all the time, but mostly that's what you're going to do if you pick a key. So if you're used to playing all your songs in the key of C with C, F, G, D minor, E minor, A minor, and if you look at this chart and you want to play in the key of E, which is a really pretty key, instead of getting out your transposing chart or other charts or trying to figure it out, you just look at this chart here, and whatever you used to play in C, if you're playing in the key of E now, if your note was C, you would now play it as an E. If your note was D minor, you would play it as an F sharp minor. If your note was E minor, you'd play a G sharp minor. So it's pretty self-explanatory once you look at this chart how to figure out what notes you need to be playing to transpose keys. And this also teaches you how they figure out what notes are inside each key, what makes up the scale of each key. If you look at column 5, where it says G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, you can also, instead of using those notes, you can make it a 7th, which sounds kind of cool. So if you were going to play a song in the key of C and you were doing C, F, G, D minor, E minor, A minor, you could make that G a G7. So you'd be playing C, G7. And it adds a nice little change to the song. Okay, that's it. Hopefully you understand. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. If you hate my video, that's okay. If somebody learns something off of it, that's all that matters. I've done other music theory videos. I've got some videos of when I first started playing guitar and videos when I'm playing right now, 2.5 years later, self-taught, and most of the stuff I play sucks, but yeah, that's how it goes. I'm having a good time with it. Hopefully somebody benefited from this video. If you did, that's all that matters. That's all. See. Hey YouTube. Alright, it's going to be a really quick tutorial on the circle of fifths, circle of fourths. If you go on the internet, you can print out a much better chart than what I did over here. If you look at the top, you see C, F, G, D, A, E, B, B, E, A, D, G, F, C. An easy way to remember that is Charles' father goes down and ends battle, or the other saying is battle ends and down goes Father Charles. When you look at this chart over here, it helps you figure out what notes are in each key. Like look at the top where it says C. Instead of charting out all your notes, you could just take the thing like a triangle over here, and in the key of C, which would be, you always start with the key you're starting in the center, and you go to the left and you go to the right. So the key of C, your notes would be F and G for your majors, and your minors would be D minor, A minor, E minor. So if you go online and you print out the circle of fourths, circle of fifths, it's just an easy way to use this chart to figure out what majors and minors are in each key so that you can play them on the guitar. So if you were going to do the key of G, you'd go one to the left, one to the right. Your majors would be G, C, D. Your minors would be E minor, A minor, B minor. And let's say that you were going to do the key of A. Your majors would be A, D, E. Your minors would be B minor, F sharp minor, and C sharp minor. You see the numbers that I put next to each of the notes, the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That just tells you how many sharps are in that key. And there are no sharps or flats in the key of C. That's why there's a 0 above C. There's 1 sharp in the key of G. But you don't see it over here. It's the major, major, minor. I mean major, 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 minor, minor, minor. And that sharp falls in I think that falls in the 7th column, which you don't play because it just wouldn't sound right on the guitar. So that's the whole idea behind when you see that chart, you see the numbers and you see the staff, and it shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it also shows up on the left side of the chart, of the wheel, where you have the B flat, and then I think it goes E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. And I didn't fill that chart out. I just doing this by memory right now, but that's the way this whole thing works. So print out the circle of fifths, circle of fourths, and you'll be able to figure out what notes are in each key to make it easy to play your guitar. And I've been messing around with this thing for transposing also, which makes it really easy. Sit there with the chart and I look at the note that the music says in key of C, and then I just bounce down and figure out what the note should be in a different key. Looking at this chart, the reason they call it the circle of fifths is if you look at over here, it's C, 5 steps over, C, D, E, F, G, G, A, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. That's the whole idea of the circle of fifths. And if you go backwards, that's fourths. F, G, A, is that right? C, yeah, that's right. That is right. B, A, B, C, D, E, F, B, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, A, B, or so that's the idea behind the circle of fifths and the circle of fourths. I just wanted to throw this quick tutorial together so that it might make sense to some people. I spent weeks and weeks looking at videos and none of this really made any sense. The whole idea that you really want to get from this thing is look in triangles to figure out what your majors and minors are. So if you're going to be doing the key of C, that's all you need. Those are your majors and minors for the key of C. If you're going to be doing the key of A, those are your those are your majors and minors for the key of A. You take your key, which will be whatever you want to be in the center, and you go one to the left, one to the right, left, right, and there, and you get your 3 majors and your 3 minors, and that's one of the main uses that I find for the circle of fourths, circle of fifths. Hopefully this video helped you. Make sure to watch all my other videos, and subscribe or like or do whatever the hell you want.